All right, now it's time for you to have your say, and Devo's standing by. Devo.
Thanks a lot, Mark. And yeah, we are asking you, here in Toronto, they are making masks mandatory as of tomorrow when you go into indoor locations. So do you think masks should be mandatory in all indoor locations? In Ottawa, they're also going to make some announcements there as well from Canada's top doctor, releasing some information regarding masks and whether they're going to be mandatory or not. So would you like to see this enforced perhaps across the country in your neighborhood? Or do you think because maybe where you are, there's less cases that you don't need to see that enforced? Let us know. 1-866-267-3797 and feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca is the way you can email us as well. Let's go to the phones first and chat with Carol, who is in Newmarket. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. How are you, Devo?
I am wonderful. My legs are still shaking from that workout, I won't lie.
Mine too. I was doing it with...
Way to go, Carol. Get in there, right? We got to push ourselves a little bit. Something different. It's
Definitely.
A few muscles that I'm not used to using, so that was good. Carol, what do you think about the masks? You know, and just a reminder for everybody, you know, not mandatory yet, but it's up to you if you decide to wear them. Now, they're saying in indoor locations tomorrow, starting tomorrow in Toronto specifically, it will be mandatory. How do you feel about that?
You know what, Devo? Definitely, I do believe that masks should be worn indoors. I'm going to tell you a little story, Devo. We have, within walking distance of where I live, a huge chain grocery store. I was in there not too long ago, and most of these customers, we were all wearing masks. I approached an employee, and I said, you know, do they not supply masks for the employees? She said, oh, yes. She said, they supply, but we don't have to wear them.
Right.
So I wasn't too pleased with that, Devo. So I, in turn, I called head office, and they were going to look after it. Well, you know what? Make a long story short, I was there yesterday. We all had masks on, all the customers, we all had masks. Not one employee, Devo, had a mask on.
And so for you, would you be going back to that grocery store?
Not going back.
Right.
Not going back at all. No.
Yeah,
that's enough, you know. And you know what? I'm not going to waste my time even phoning head office.
Yeah, because you made your point to them, and you want to feel comfortable as a customer.
Definitely.
And now, especially if it is going to be enforced, you know, and it's going to be mandatory, you would hope that they follow that mandatory rule that gets put into place, right?
Definitely. You know, when you watch the employees touching the produce, touching all the different, you know, and they have signs up warning the consumers about touching different things. And yeah.
It should be all the way around. It should be kind of the same rule for everybody. How long do you think they should be enforced for? Do you think kind of until we have a vaccine? You know, what would be the time frame for you to think about that?
I think until the medical officers say that it's safe for us to go without a mask.
Yeah, that's fair.
Once our medical officers, you know, give us the word that, hey, you know what, we no longer need a mask, then you know what, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Carol, thank you so much. Thanks for moving in the morning with us as well. Appreciate it.
All the best to you and your crew.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye
Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, appreciate that from Carol right there. Let's go to an email from Lisa. Lisa says, mandatory masks indoors is a brilliant idea and should remain mandatory until next summer or until this is all over. This virus has a mind of its own, and it's not over anytime soon. If you care for others on this planet, then make it happen. Thank you for the email, Lisa. Appreciate that. Again, if you want to send in your email, feel free to do that. It's feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca. We go to the phones once again, and this is Renee from Penetanguishene. Good morning, Renee.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Wonderful, thanks. How are you doing?
Very good.
And you think that they should be mandatory?
They certainly should be mandatory. You know, like, why is the government spending all this money, giving money away, and can't order people, make it mandatory? We go into stores, and some of the stores, employees, like the ladies, said everything I wanted to say a while ago. You know, the employees don't have any mask. We have a mask trying to protect, you know, and we protect them, but they don't have a mask to protect us. And definitely, what's the matter with the government? They should stand up and take action. I think they're scared.
Do you think that this is something that should have been put in place a long time ago?
Long time ago. A long time ago. I've had problems with health problems, and, you know, if I go out there, it's it can hurt me without if you don't have masks, especially indoors.
Yeah, and indoors, and that's what they're saying. When we're outside and stuff, you don't have to worry about it as much. The open air and you're keeping your space. But when you're in there in those locations that are a little tighter and you're a little closer to people, say at a checkout or things like that, you definitely want to be doing that. And now there are people that are saying, listen, I've got to work in this store or at this other indoor location for 8-10 hours a day. And having a mask on for me isn't the best of health. What do you say to those people and maybe to employers of those employees?
Well, I say to them, if they infect one person, he dies. I mean, is that right?
No, you're right. We want everybody protected the best we can. Renee, thank you so much for your call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. I think we have Jerry. Is it Jerry from Barrie? I like the way that rhymes. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
And what do you think? Do you think now this is going in Toronto, and they could be looking at other places across the country as well, mandatory masks inside in indoor locations? How do you feel about that?
I think it should be in every place. I've been into stores lately, and Costco is one of the better places, I must admit, because all the staff were wearing a mask. I never saw anybody out there. But a lot of the customers didn't wear the mask, and the employees have no choice. They have to let them in. But they should be able to put a sign up saying, no mask, no service.
Right. And
I think that masks should be mandatory for at least a month or until we get it back down to zero for our new cases every day.
Yeah, and we're seeing, in the States, these numbers climb. And we know that our numbers have never kind of been in that section because people have been listening. They have been stepping back, physically distancing. They have been staying away from family members and loved ones. Unfortunately, had to do that and did that, wearing the masks and things like that. So we don't want to see numbers spike up or anything like that, of course. But when you talk to different people in maybe your friend circle, is there a different comfort level? Are there people that are saying, I'm not going to wear a mask, I don't want to wear a mask, and others that are like, please wear a mask?
Oh, I have a couple of people in our family, a couple hundred, that are saying, oh, no, it's my right not to wear a mask. Well, it's not your right to give me a disease that I don't want either.
That's a very valid point. Jerry, thank you so much. And appreciate the call. And I don't know if we'll be able to pull this up, but I'll tell you the story as our control room. I'm kind of putting them on the spot for this. This is a story out of a hospital that we saw in Toronto at St. Joseph's Hospital. And this went viral over the weekend, well over 4 million views. And this woman went into the hospital and said she wasn't being served. She wanted to get, she had a broken finger, or what she alleged was a broken finger, and they weren't going to give her service because she didn't wear a mask and she didn't want to put on a mask. Here is this video.
Say that again, please. In the hospital. It's a. Why am I not allowed to video? I'm not allowed to video, but you're making me wear a mask. Otherwise, you're gonna deny me service if I don't wear a mask. I'm at St. Joseph's Hospital. They're telling me that if I don't wear a mask, they're not gonna assist me. They want me to leave. Whose policy is that?
Ministry of Health.
And she said, whose policy is that? And the response was the Ministry of Health, which, if you are in a hospital, those are people, look at the people that you're seeing in this video. They're the ones that have been working through this entire pandemic to keep all of us safe. So this shouldn't have been a question about wearing a mask in a hospital. That's one place that we all feel that should happen. So that video went viral for the wrong reasons, of course. Don't be like that person, please. We're going to be back with more Breakfast Television Canada in just a few moments. Thank you so much for all your calls and emails.